Hi everyone, so I'm here today doing a quick video. It's a bit of a different one for me. It's a sewing video. Obviously that's not the different part, but it's a different type of sewing sort of. So I finally got my Sojo back, Sewing Mojo for people who don't know, and it's been amazing. So I'm going to have a different video for you soon, hopefully. Depends how long this next bit takes me. I was making a quilt. I've been making a quilt. I finished all the blocks. I've just got to finalise the layout and stuff, but that's a whole nother video. So I was talking to Becky of RJAF Makes, and she kindly offered to send me a parcel with some goodies in it. Now, this is gifted, no obligation to post. This isn't an ad. I want to share this with you guys because I want to talk to you about what I've been doing, and I think this is a really great project. So she very kindly gifted me everything to make her on-the-go bag in size small, which is this one. Now, all I had to do was basically add fabric. Pretty simple, right? And I had such a great time working, sorry about that, squeaky chair. I had such a great time deciding what fabrics I wanted to use and learning the process of bag making. I have made a bag before. I made one bag before. It was like a messenger bag. I don't want to talk about it. Let's just say the pattern wasn't great, which is more evident than anything after doing Becky's pattern. I don't even want to talk about the other bag, to be honest. I have made one of Becky's patterns before. I bought her craft bucket bag thing and I've made a knitting bag out of it. I did record a video for it, but I think it got corrupted, so I've got to do that again. But I will get onto that eventually. So she very kindly sent me this set of bits. Like I said, gifted, no obligation to post. You may have seen it in my Instagram stories already. But I've finished the bag now. Like, you may have seen me unboxing sort of thing on my Instagram stories, but I have finished the bag, guys, and I love it. I can't even tell you how much I love it. So without further ado, ta-da! It of course had to be Harry Potter, didn't it? It's me, come on. So, hang on. It's kind of focusing a bit weird. So I went with this amazing stained glass fabric from Craft Cotton Co. This metallic Moda Grunge, which is red or burgundy. I'm not 100% sure, I'm sorry. And then on the inside I've gone with this amazing Craft Cotton Co. Constellations fabric, I think it is. So Becky kindly sent me the foam, the interfacing, the metal hardware and stuff, and obviously the paper pattern. I then added my fabric and stuff. So there's a few things you may have noticed that I've done differently here. So on the pattern there is no piping. I decided I wanted to add metallic piping. So this piping is actually silver and it's really cool. It's also around the shoulder, it's also around the shoulder pad. This binding is just, I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but it's metallic, it's pretty and it's cool. So that was one of the changes I made. I added this, but I also widened this panel by like a half an inch overall, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Yes, half an inch. Yeah, so I had to think then. So basically I measured my fabric, because obviously it's got these amazing banners. I wanted to make sure that I didn't have like bits cut off. So what I done was I measured the fabric. I actually measured the pattern piece, checked how big that was, and then measured it against the fabric to see. And basically it was going to cut off like bits of these ones. And I thought to myself, well, why don't I just make it bigger and borrow some of the size from the side panels? So it's the same size as Becky's pattern. All I've done is when I was tracing this using my Swedish tracing paper from Pattern Trace, I drew a line 1/2 inch away from because this pattern piece is cut on the fold. So what you're going to need to do if you want to change this panel to fit your fabric, do not add fabric in the fold because it won't match up because of this curve. What you need to do is add the extra amount to the outside edge of the pattern piece, and then you must remember to take it away from this B/C pattern piece, otherwise it's not going to fit. So what I basically did is, like I said, I drew a line up, and then because I needed to match this curve, the lining piece is basically these three put together. So I just literally, it's all one piece, the lining. So I just took my new drawn pattern piece, laid it over the top of the lining and married up the curve. And it has worked perfectly, as you can see. So this was great fun, to be honest. On the back, I've got a magnetic snap pocket. I decided to pattern match here. In the pattern, as in this bottom corner picture, you can see that Becky's got this blue. Basically, all that means is that I cut the fabric differently. So rather than cutting this main panel bit in these colours, I just cut it in this, and then I basically used my Swedish tracing paper, drew these rough bits on it to work out where it was going to. Basically, I drew out a pocket piece, pattern piece. Sorry, it's one of those days today, as you can see. I drew a pattern piece for the pocket with the Swedish tracing paper. I then matched that up with this fabric piece and then drew these on, because as you may have noticed, I've got a Hufflepuff, a sliver, and a Gryffindor, a sliver, and then 2 Ravenclaw. But on this side, it's different. So this fabric has a very defined pattern, but it's all over the place in terms of in different places. So I didn't just need to make sure this was right, I needed to make sure I was cutting the right part of the fabric. So I literally just drew these bits in and then just matched it up and cut it. You may have noticed I've got piping across the top of the pocket piece too. The way I did that was the pattern piece of the pocket is all one piece and folded. Now if you want to put the piping in the way I have, you're going to have to add seam allowance to this pocket piece and then cut it in half, because as you can see I've actually got grunge inside there rather than this, because I figured if I have to have a seam there for the piping anyway, I might as well save this a bit of this fabric. So the important thing to note here is if you are going to do piping up the sides and across the top, you're going to have to do this in a very specific way. So to make the pocket, you have to obviously cut these 2 bits of fabric, add the seam, you have to add the seam allowance to sew the 2 bits together. But what you're going to have to do is baste this bit of piping to one of the fabrics, then put the other bit on top and sew it, and you're going to want to top stitch that down. Now you need to do this pocket bit before this bit, because you are going to obviously have to baste this piping in as well. But if you baste this piping onto the fabric before you've put the pocket on, it's not going to sit right, and you're going to end up, well, it would sit right, but you'd end up with this piping going over the top of this one, and I just found it looked a lot neater if the pocket piping was going underneath the outside piping. So like I said, I just assembled the pocket piece so it was literally like done, base stitched it onto this pattern piece here, and then I basted these piping bits on top of the pocket and this piece here, and then I put these red grunge sides on. Same goes for the front. I basted these to this fabric and then made it, it's very basic on this side, it's the other side that's bit more tricky. So I've done a few different things. So for the crossbody strap, I added swivel clips rather than threading it straight through the rectangle ring, purely because I didn't want to risk, if I ever had to take this pad off or anything, I didn't want to have to cut the strap, basically, to get it off. That's all. I've never sewn with faux leather before, and Becky very kindly added this to the parcel. It's the faux leather that she sells in her shop. It is amazing quality. Really nice and soft, not like, it doesn't feel, you know, some faux leathers, plevers, vinyl, whatever you want to call them, they feel a bit less than desirable. This one isn't like that at all. It's really good quality, really nice to sew as well. I've got some things to say about that in a second. I've used some rivets. I've bought a rivet press because I've always wanted one, and now I've got more reasons to have one. So I've got rivets in the side tabs, 2 there and obviously 2 there. I've got rivets on the shoulder straps. I've got rivets on there. I stitched and riveted that as well. Obviously you don't rivet that because it's adjustable. It would kind of defeat the object if you riveted that. I can't say how much I love this bag enough. Like, I learned so many techniques doing it. So I've done a zip bridge. Oh, wrong side. So I've done a zip bridge, and inside I've got a slip pocket, and then on this side, see if I can get the camera to pick up, is a zip pocket in there. Really nice. I put in a zip end. I don't know if I can show you that, but I will try. So, yep, I've managed to dig it out. So I've put in one of these zip end caps. That wasn't so difficult. But it's something I've never done. So it's quite fun to do that. It's got a really nice structure. As you can see, it's not like sagging or anything. It's just a really nice pattern. The pattern is extremely well written. If you are more of a visual learner, Becky has sew-along videos on her YouTube for her patterns. This one was about a 2-hour video. Yes, that sounds long, but what you are getting is essentially a workshop in your home. And when I sat there watching it one night, and I was like, this woman's amazing. Like, she's like mind blown, because it was just like, there's so many tips. And I mean, this shoulder pad isn't in the pattern. The pattern piece is, but the instructions aren't. That's on a YouTube video. But it's just like, it's amazing. Like, everything that I thought, hang on, should I be doing it? The video told me. Like, she has literally covered all her bases. If you're a visual learner, you've got your videos. If you're more of a read it and go learner, you've got your pattern. And that's so well written, and the video is so well thought out, and together combined, oh my god, it just made it so easy and intuitive to make this bag. I wasn't second guessing myself. I wasn't wondering if I'd done the technique right, because I knew I had, because I'd seen it being done. I know I'm sort of fangirling right now in a way, but I just don't feel like some creators get enough credit. And Becky is one of those creators that, I'm not saying she doesn't get credit, obviously she does, but she goes above and beyond for her customers and her, sounds weird saying it, but her fans and followers. But I guess that's what we are, really. But she goes above and beyond. She's got a pattern support group on Facebook. She's got a Patreon group, which I'm a part of. You can pay, I think it's £11 odd a month, and you get access to exclusive patterns. They're exclusive for a certain amount of time in the club, and then sometimes you get like specific parts of the pattern or different sizes. They're exclusive to the club forever, and just stuff like that. And it's really, she dedicates so much, and every other month she sends out, if you're on the right tier, she sends out a fabric panel. That's the word I'm looking for. She'll send out a fabric panel that's like at least 33 centimeters square of a fabric that she's designed, and a piece of bag hardware and some little bit like extras. Every other month she'll send it, and you've got access to all these patterns, and you've got access to like there's special discounts and stuff each month. She gives so much of herself in all of this, and she's really responsive and active in her groups, and you're never left thinking, if you ask a question, either there'll be somebody in there that knows and they'll jump on it straight away, and Becky will come on later when she's not busy, or she'll be there straight away. She's created a community, which is really nice. But she has given me so many opportunities to learn with this bag, and I'm so grateful for that. I mean, this strap was, I'm not gonna lie and tell you it was really easy, because it wasn't. It was a nightmare. So it was absolutely doing my head in. It stitched the line absolutely fine, and then all of a sudden it was skipping stitches on the next one, and faux leather, once it's pierced, it is pierced. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't go again, you can't unpick it. It's a very unforgiving fabric. So I couldn't work out what was going on, because whenever I sewed it on the bag, it was fine, but the strap was just not having none of it, and it wasn't like it was sticking or anything like that. So I was getting so fed up and so confused, and then I put it down, put it away for the night or for the day, and that night I just went, Lily, you did not use your Teflon foot, did you? So I bought a Teflon foot last year because it was like in a deal, and I just haven't like I said, never sewn with faux leather. I had every intention to, but then I'd lost my sojo, so I wasn't sewing, and so I've never really used it. So it wasn't instinctual for me to go, oh yeah, that's what I need. So when I come down into the craft room the next day, and I run it through on the damaged strap, and oh, would you look at that, it's working perfectly. So I kept going on the thing strap, because I was like, well, you know, I did a line of stitching on that one, it didn't work, so I'm going to do more on this. So I don't know, 5 different lines of stitches, and it didn't skip once. And because I tried all the other things like changing the needle, rethreading, but it was literally just the Teflon foot. Use a Teflon foot, and I used a stitch length of like 4 to top stitch this. You're going to be golden. Use your, you know, size 100. It's 100 needle I used for this, because Becky put some in the package. It will easily get through the foam and the interfacing and the fabric layers, and it easily gets through this as well. I mean, you got to think, on some of these bits where the piping intersects on the pocket, there's a lot of layers, and it just breezed through it. So yeah, I don't really know what else I can say about this, except I really love this bag. I really love this pattern. This won't be the only one I make of Becky's, and I may actually be eyeing it up already. The metallic binding was from Becky's shop. I bought that, and the piping is a 3mm. I can't remember where I got that from, but the rivets are all from Becky's shop. All the bag hardware is from Becky's shop. Faux leather, the lot. I'll put a link in the description to the pattern and just Becky's shop in general, and the sew along videos and stuff that she done and all that. But I am just so in love with this bag. If you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if I don't know the answer, I'll go and find out for you. But yeah, I'm really pleased, and I'm going to hopefully make quite a few more bags, because I just love doing them now. She's got me hooked. Thank you again, Becky. Like I said, gifted, no obligation to post. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more of these, subscribe. A bubble should pop up here to subscribe, and YouTube will recommend you some videos from my channel here. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.